Guests always on Keel, heard via the Jack Spring Electric Keel Newsmaker hotline. The latest is Mr. Otis Ellis. He's with the Shreveport Economic Recovery Task Force Digital Infrastructure Committee. Whew. Mr. Otis, welcome to Keel. Thank you for taking time, sir.
Good morning, Aaron and Robert, and thank you for having me.
Morning. You guys are doing what's called a digital divide survey to find out what we can do in our community, and you want folks involved. Tell us about why you're doing this.
Yeah, what's a digital divide? Explain to us what's the deal.
Sure. So the digital divide is just individuals who aren't able to afford or to get on and use the internet for work and for educational purposes. That's what the digital divide is, Aaron and Robert.
Okay, the survey is on the Keel website right now, keelnews.com. And describe some of the questions, some of the things that are important that you guys learn.
Yeah, so what we learned during this time was, especially with the kids, and school is fast approaching, we learned that the school system, they don't know how many of their children are connected to the internet. And as you all are aware, if you don't have children, school-age children yourselves, being connected to the internet has never been more important. So these questions are really trying to figure out where the need for internet connectivity is. And some of the questions are, what's your address or zip code? Do you have internet access? If you have, what's the performance and service been like? And what do you use the internet for? That's basically what the questions are. It's 10 questions. It takes about a minute to complete.
Mr. Otis, I'm not trying to mess with you here. Please don't take this the wrong way, but if there is a digital divide in Shreveport, Caddo Parish, whatever the area happens to be, how are the people who are victims, so to speak, of the digital divide going to take your survey? And if they can't, how do you know you're getting the correct results or the proper answers to give you the data that you want?
It's a great question, Robert. So with partnership with the Shreve Memorial Library System and the Caddo Parish Public Schools, there are going to be drop boxes throughout the 21 locations for the library system, so folks who don't have access to the internet can complete a hard copy form, put it in a drop box, and we'll record the information. So we have a digital component to this, but we also have a hard copy for those folks who don't have access to the internet or can go online to complete the survey.
You know, you made a great point early on. You had said that the biggest problem, at least in my mind, with what you call the digital divide is as because of the coronavirus and there's more dependency on distance learning in schools. Have you discussed this at all with Dr. Gorey, superintendent with Caddo Parish? Have you discussed this with educators as to how you guys can sort of team up to try to solve this?
So that's a great question. We've had some conversations with the Chief Technology Officer for the Caddo Parish Public School System, and what we want to do is we want to wait until we get the data, because the data will drive how we work with various stakeholders to solve the problem, Robert.
I'm looking at the survey now, and really going to show my ignorance with regard to this digital stuff. You're asking what we use the internet for, and it's all of the above: work, streaming, shopping, social media, etc. Then the question below that: do you have broadband service at your home? At least 25 Mbps service. A lot of us don't know that.
That's a great question, and that's one of the minor technical aspects to the survey, which we can tweak. But basically what MBS is megabytes per second. That's how quickly information is uploaded or downloaded based on your service package that you have from a service provider, Aaron.
Okay. Is it a way to call my service provider and say, hey, is mine broadband or whatever? My son that lives with me, he'll probably know, right?
Yes, he would, and it's probably on your monthly bill because they give you multiple options to choose from 25 megabytes up to 1 gigabyte. And the reason that these are so important is because it allows multiple users or multiple platforms to be working on it at the same time, which is why that's important, because a family that may have 4 or 5 people in a home, 6 or 7 devices, and they're all working at the same time, if you have lower bandwidth speeds, slows down how you get on and access versus if you have higher bandwidth speeds. It allows you to move on that without any interruptions.
Really cool in that I'm doing the survey now. You don't want my name. You don't need all that information.
Correct.
So it's anonymous. The information, how are you going to use it?
So once we get the data back, we're going to sit down with various stakeholders in the city to figure out how this data can help us to get more affordable internet and wider uses of connectivity all throughout Caddo Parish. So that includes the urban parts as well as the rural parts.
Okay, possibly to get grant funding. Does the survey help with that as well?
At this point, we don't know, but it is certainly a possibility with all of the federal money that are coming to states, specifically Louisiana, to help with getting more people connected to the internet area.
Because I had seen that Senator Bill Cassidy is kind of helping you guys out, sort of pointing you in the right direction, or maybe that's vice versa. How is he lending a hand? What is his role in all of this?
So we've been getting a whole lot of bipartisan, nonpartisan support from state delegations, state delegates like Mr. Cassidy. So they're helping us to get the survey out through their social media platforms as well as their websites. So that's how he's helping.